if you are one of those girls that get on Instagram, TikTok, and you are bombarded with skincare routines and you don't know what to buy and you don't know what you're doing, but you know that you need to do something, you feel like overwhelmed with the products, and then you get on to see how much they are. Sometimes they can be really expensive. Your favorite influencer is posting her skincare routine in the morning. She's posting it at night. She has a lineup of 8 things she's using each time. And you're over here like washing your face with soap and maybe putting on moisturizer. You feel like you need to do more because everybody around you, you feel like is.
Yeah.
This is the podcast for you.
Love is love. Love is love. Adios.
Because we have expert Lauren, skincare expert over here. She's on the pod today, and we are talking all things skincare, and she has some great tips for that girl. She has tips for just anyone going through any skincare issues. Obviously, it can make us feel not so good. It can give us less confidence, can make us feel like we have to have makeup on literally all the time. And yeah, so I just really want this to be just giving, all your information and share so we can help people at home that feel like they don't know what they're doing. Yeah.
I have been an esthetician since 2012. I went back to school once my kids were in school full time. I actually had a friend out of nowhere. She's like, hey, do you want to go to aesthetic school with me? And I'm like, sure. I didn't have really a desire to go into it, but I was feeling like I needed to do something.
Yeah.
And she actually ended up not going, but I did.
Wow.
And as soon as I went, I loved it. I felt like I was in my zone, in my place. Like I loved everything about it. And then just took off from there.
Cool. It was like meant to be. That's what you were meant to go into.
I feel like it was meant to be. Yeah. Absolutely.
Where is your aesthetic accent from?
I love her accent.
I'm from North Carolina. Okay. I moved here when I was 18.
Oh, okay. So you've been here for
I've been here for a while. This is home.
That's the vibe.
I love her accent. Yeah. She's like a Southern belle. So you've been practicing for...
Gosh, how long is that? 12 years?
12 years. And you own your own...
Yeah, the Skin Spa and Acne Clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friend Kim opened that up maybe 6 years ago. I think we officially opened it up.
Amazing.
And yeah, it was actually the Skin Spa at first, and then she's like, hey, because we both struggled with adult acne.
Okay.
And I went on Accutane, got clear, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she was like, hey, I think we should get certified in acne. And I'm like, ugh, no. That is, like, it was overwhelming because what I went through, and I was like, I can't get people clear. I don't know how to clear people. And she's like, no, we'll do this course. We'll go to California. We'll get certified. And I was like, oh, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Best thing I could have done. It was great for my business. My acne came back, so I needed to learn how to treat myself. And then in return, I was able to like help clients. And so it's been like life-changing for me. It's been life-changing for my clients. Like I absolutely love treating acne. And so she always sometimes brings up, you didn't even want to do this. You didn't even want to.
Like, you can thank me.
Is acne one of the main things that you do treat?
Yeah. So I focus on anti-aging and acne.
Okay. I guess what would be, when people come in for acne, in your experience, what have been some of the main causes of that? Well, number one, what would be some of the misconceptions about adult acne?
Yeah.
And then number two, what are some of the causes that you actually do end up treating when people come in for acne?
Okay, so I have people all across the board. I have teenagers come in. I have like 12-year-olds coming in for acne. And I have 50-year-old women coming in for acne.
Shit, yeah.
And so I think it's a lot more complex than people realize. So and everybody's going to have their opinion on what causes it. I mean, you go to a dermatologist and they're going to be like, oh, you don't need to worry about diet. Just use retinol or take clindamycin and all these other pills or whatever. And I am anti that because I did that and it would only work like temporarily.
Okay.
And my acne would come back. So I would, gosh, what was I saying?
I'm talking about acne, like.
I know.
So you see people.
Like misconceptions of it?
Oh, misconceptions. Okay. Yeah. So diet is a big factor. Hormones are a big factor. So I like to start there and address those things, like what foods are you eating? I have them like literally write out their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I see what skincare they're using. I see what makeup they're putting on. So there's like all these different factors that go into it. So I get them on the proper skincare routine, and then we kind of fix the diet, like the dairy, peanuts, peanut butter triggers.
It's probably why I'm breaking out right now. I'm eating too much peanut butter.
No,
I didn't know this.
She used a random face mask the other day. Her skin was clear, and then all of a sudden,
Which I want to go into too, but yeah, like foods.
Foods are
what are common like acne prone foods?
So like the dairy. So some people aren't even aware that I'm like, well, are you putting a little bit of cheese? I actually call dairy. Like sometimes when people are breaking out around their chin, I'm like, oh, that's a dairy chin. It's like there's certain type of acne I can tell. I'm like, what's your diet like? And I'm instantly like, you eat cheese. I have a client who she could sprinkle a little bit of cheese and her chin will just blow up.
I am dying right now.
Any type of cheese. Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Knock that shit out.
Yeah. Yogurt. Like, and that's because like Greek yogurt, you're like, oh, that's healthy, but it's still dairy.
This is me.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. So
my gosh.
I could say dairy, but I'm like, I have to go into specifics because some people aren't even realizing
it's dairy.
What they're
just looking at the
eating.
000. Like me right now.
Hey, don't shit on Oikos right now.
I am dying because it's still dairy. I'm not
100%.
thinking of it like that.
Right.
Same.
Maybe that's why I'm having stomach issues. My stupid snack.
Dairy, like, because it's your gut. Your gut's like your second brain. So if your gut is not in a good place, your skin is your largest organ. It's going to manifest through your skin. Absolutely.
I hear this. I just have never taken it like this in for some reason.
And I have to like retell my clients all the time.
Because you know why? Food, as hard as it is to stay healthy and like make good choices for, it's so hard. Once you get into a habit of doing it, obviously it becomes easier. It's just your lifestyle. But making that switch, I'm sure you deal with clients that have really struggle in the food department.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have some that I'm like, they just cut it out and I'm like, damn, that was good for you.
Yeah, like just
they're like
cold
teenagers.
turkey.
I'm like, wow. Because teenagers are hard anyway. Like they don't want to.
They don't understand the like severity of how much it really does.
Until they cut it out and they're like, wow, I can't believe like I cut this out and now my skin's great. And sometimes it's just those little things. It could be your athletic greens you're taking, the spirulina, chlorella, things like that are in there. B6, B12, biotin, the hair, skin, and nail vitamins that are, so good.
Luckily, I'm not breaking out in acne like a crazy person right now because everything you're saying, it is me almost.
It's hard because if you're deficient in it and you're getting the proper amount through certain vitamins or whatever, then it's not a problem. It's when you're in that excess. And so a lot of times those hair, skin, and nail vitamins have an excess of all those. And so
would you say it's like the absorption that your body can't have comes out as acne?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very triggering to acne prone skin.
It's like, why? Why do we have to live this way? Why does it have to be so complicated?
Okay,
we hate acne. We hate the way it makes us look.
Mm-hmm.
We feel like we have to put makeup over it, which is just probably adding, especially for like instance, the makeup ingredients.
Yes.
You had said that when you have a client come in, you ask for their makeup.
Yeah, I like them to bring in their makeup or at least know what they're using so I can look at it. And I have an app that I actually use that helps. And Face Reality has a pore clogging ingredient list that I can refer to as well. And I give that to my clients as well. Okay. And say if you're using, like look through your ingredient deck of what you're using and see if any of these ingredients are in there. And if they are, stop using it because it's contributing to your acne.
So then would they go to the makeup store and look on the back of the things to find specifics?
Yeah, I actually say, I actually give them a list. I have like some makeup that's approved and I give them that and I'm like, you can pick from that list, or if you like something in particular, you can pull it up on your phone, the ingredient deck, and then look at that list and see if any of those ingredients are on there.
Wow.
So I have a question. Not to have people come to your business, but what are typical ingredients you would see? Maybe one or two of them that you could say, hey, if you see this and you are experiencing acne, possibly stay away from this.
Coconut oil and shea butter, for sure.
That's like Black people's staple.
No, and it's.
I don't break out too much.
I was about to say, and there's some people that can slather that on and it not affect them, but they're not acne prone.
Okay, so it really depends on someone's skin.
Yes, absolutely, because people can have tons of dairy and whatever, and it's not going to affect their skin if they're not acne prone.
Is it genetic that makes someone acne prone?
Yes, genetics do play a factor into that. But sometimes it's just like overproduction of skin cells, and then they're sticking to the skin. And when they're sticking to the skin, that oil and dead skin is like a breeding ground for bacteria, irritates the follicle, and then you're going to have acne popping up.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense.
I know nothing about this. It's so good to hear all these things. Now I'm going to be so conscious about what I'm doing.
Well, I think I think just typically, because we've all had puberty, we've all had some type of acne. My mom's sold Mary Kay back in the day. So
yes.
When I was young, I had my skin was flawless. I feel like out here,
The climate.
I feel like because it's drier out here, I see more of this. I don't know, I call it like aftershave, but
the dark
pigmentation.
shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a couple of these bad boys that
Won't go
either
away.
way, neither here nor there. But when you think about like diet, you don't necessarily think dairy would be good for you or Greek yogurt would be good for you. So it's like, okay, I want to be healthy. This is on my training list for my meal prep for the week. I would never think to take Greek yogurt out, so that's hella interesting. Also,
I think
comes
a lot
somebody
of
who
people-
loves cheese. Like
Yeah.
I put cheddar on everything.
Well, and like just like sprinkling it on your
Oh, yeah.
omelet just to give it a little bit more, you know?
Your soup. And yeah, it's...
I've cut cheese out completely, pretty much.
100%.
Unless I'm out to eat, which I should say hold the cheese.
I know, you're like, the cheese.
I know that's the
Nobody wants a regular ass burger though.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I just don't eat the burger.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you almost don't have a choice. You just have to make those
If you're-
like conscious switches.
if you're
acne prone.
If you're acne prone.
Or just for your gut in general.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, your gut health is important, and it will even reflect. You may not be acne prone, but it can give you anxiety if you're not eating the right foods. It can cause depression. It can contribute to depression, anxiety, things like that.
Yeah.
So the more healthy you are on the inside, the healthier you're going to be on the outside.
How important is water?
Oh, okay. Water is important. And I have some clients that I'm like, I'm drinking tons of water. And I'm like, maybe you're drinking too much water because then you're flushing out electrolytes in the body. So I'm like, okay, add electrolytes to your water. But water is important. I can tell when someone comes in, like if I'm doing extractions, I'm like, did you drink water? Did you drink enough water? Because I'm always like, please, before coming in the day before, make sure you're drinking enough water. But you should be drinking water all the time. It does help to flush out toxins.
Okay.
And so I'm like trying to do extractions and nothing's coming out. I'm like, you are so dehydrated, and I can tell. I can absolutely tell by how your skin.
Is it the pores?
Yeah, you're just dehydrated. It's tight. They're tight. But the more hydrated you are, the more they'll just like slip right out.
Really?
Oh, it's so fun. I'm like, yes, I love you.
You're
You're doing all the
and fun.
things.
This is what I love.
Yeah, but it's also important to topically use a hydrator or moisturizer. Those are two different things.
Let's get into this.
'Kay.
Let's get into
Yeah,
some
so
product
explain to us the difference
recommendations.
between so these are face hydrators. So
Yes.
So explain the difference between a face hydrator and a skin moisturizer.
Okay.
Is that how you would say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here in Utah, where it's super dry, you're going to want to, most people, I put them on a hydrator and a moisturizer. So your hydrator is more like your water-based products, like hyaluronic acid, aloe. Some things, a lot of times we'll have like aloe and hyaluronic acid together, just things that are like water hydrating. And then I'm going to put you on a moisturizer that's more like occlusive. Well, it doesn't always have to be occlusive. Like emollients, just like a little bit creamier, right? To
Okay.
hydrate the skin. Because the more, and this seems odd, but the more dry you are, the more your skin wants to produce oil. So sometimes when people are like, oh, I'm so oily though, but I'm dry. And I'm like, okay, we got to get your skin balanced. So we need you on a hydrator. We still need to add moisture to the skin so your skin's not like freaking out saying, oh, you're dry, I need to produce more oil. So I want to find that balance, and that's hard here. I feel like people here struggle with that.
Wow.
Is the oily skin like a defense mechanism for the skin almost?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes even certain foods like the peanuts and peanut butter will cause you to produce more oil production.
Cut that shit out. Mine is oily.
Yeah.
And my hair too. I don't know if it
Yep.
does to the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it ups the androgens.
I told you.
So take that shit out of my take that out of my protein shake. No, it's fine. I'll make a conscious effort to at least make it less.
Is a great option.
We do have that in there. I always opt for the peanut butter over because it tastes better.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
So give me brand wise, what would be an example of a hydrator compared to a moisturizer? Because I've never even heard the term hydrator. Skin hydrator until you just said that.
Me either.
I thought it was just moisturizer across the board.
So like a lot of times like serums are more hydrators, so that you'd put on before, like when I'm doing a routine, it's like face wash, toner, hydrator, or a serum, and then your moisturizer. Okay. So that hydrator actually works with your skin as well. If like the moisture in your skin, it pulls from that and from whatever. So I think, okay, your skin, and then your hydrator, and then your moisturizer. And that hydrator, it pulls from your skin, and it pulls from the moisturizer to help hydrate the skin. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it almost makes like a sandwich.
Yes.
Like it pulls it.
Yes,
That's fair.
So Face Reality has Hydra Balance.
Real quick, Face Reality is...
Face Reality is a skincare line that is... made for acne prone skin, but anybody can be on it because they have some really awesome, like the Hydra Balance. I can put anybody on that. Their Mandelic Serum, which I love for acne, is great for everyone because it's just a gentle acid that is just phenomenal. It's not going to really irritate the skin. It's a larger molecule than say like a glycolic. So it's just easier on the skin. It's not going to dry people out.
Wow. Okay, so Face Reality has...
So Face Reality has the Hydra Balance, which is really great.
Which is a hydrator.
Which is the hydrator. Okay. It's gel-based. So usually things that are gel-based... Hydrator. Hyaluronic acid. Creamy is moisturizer.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's some serums that are... But it's just the thinner consistency is usually going to be your hydrator.
Okay. Quick question. Everyone's freaking out over retinol. It is a trend of a trend. What is your ideas on retinol, and do we all need to use them? Okay. And at what age do we need to start using them? And what are we doing?
Okay. There's so many. I struggle a little bit with like the trendy part of skincare. It drives me nuts.
Why
there's always buzzwords. There's always, oh my gosh, you have to do this.
What was it? Glass skin, you were telling me? This is the new thing. I didn't even know. It's like, I want to have glass skin.
Glass skin. And you see that on like people's like pictures that they'll post, like estheticians will post these pictures, this glass skin. And I think that came from like the Korean like skincare lines. You're seeing that. But your skin is a living, breathing organ. It is normal to have texture. It is normal to have pores. It is normal to not have glass skin. Glass skin is not normal.
No.
That is not the norm. I don't even want to say, I feel like you shouldn't even want to achieve, like go for that.
Right, no.
Because it's just not reasonable.
It's not real.
It's not real.
Yeah. We want texture. We want pores. Like your face isn't going to be just glass skin your whole life. We're all gonna age.
I don't know what y'all talking about. my shit is glassy.
Like I'm pretty sure I'm living proof of glass skin.
Oh my gosh. Okay, keep going. But I have another thing to say after this about male skin versus female skin.
Okay, yeah. I want you to dive in more on the Korean skin because as we were researching this and trying to. And not only asking questions, but looking at things to ask to make the most out of your time. The Korean skincare routine was the main thing that kept popping up.
Maybe it's the trend.
Yeah. So yeah, explain your.
We need to know.
Explain what it is. Explain your feelings.
Opinion. This is my opinion. Everybody feels differently about everything. But I feel like I'm more practical. I like things to be as easy as you want it to be, but you can be as into it and have your 10 steps if you want, but you don't have to do that. Like to me, that's just hopping on a trend. Just like when this whole trend about like hyaluronic acid, everything needs I can't tell you how many people in my class are like, am I on hyaluronic acid? I'm like, yes, but you may not. Actually, that's not what's important right now. Like, I need you on this corrective serum over this hyaluronic acid serum.
Yes, or that's a buzzword.
Yes. So I'm like, yes, it's in this certain product, or actually this hydrator that's in this product I have you on is better than just a straight hyaluronic acid. Straight hyaluronic acid is not great, I would say. Like, you want to pair it with something. Formulation matters, which is why over-the-counter skincare products compared to professional skincare products are very different. You can have hyaluronic acid serum from both places, and it's not the same. It is absolutely not the same. And I hate to say price, because
investment almost like it's like it's like the healthier food. It's like it's worth it because it's an investment, but what it's going to do for you is going to be so much better than taking the cheap route every time.
Right. So it's regulated. So professional skincare line is regulated. Over the counter is not. Do not fall for the buzzword medical grade, pharmaceutical grade. That's marketing. So $150 brightening serum isn't always better than the $50 brightening serum compared to the $5 brightening serum. The $5, honestly, I'm over the counter. I don't do research into that because I know enough that it's just not effective enough. It can't be. It can't be very active because everybody's got to be able to use it and not burn their skin. So they cannot make it as strong.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's just not regulated.
So if someone's dealing with just regular skin, they don't really feel like they have tons of breakouts, then I guess if they're fine to use it, they're fine to use it. If they're not breaking out.
So sometimes clients will come to me and I'm like, I'm using this. Is this okay? And I'm like, well, how does it make your skin feel?
Okay.
Do you like that?
Okay.
Okay, well, let's keep using it then.
Okay.
Or if there is like hyperpigmentation, which is this coloring of the skin where you're seeing like these brown spots. It could be from the sun. It could be like melasma that comes up from like usually pregnancy. It's hormonal.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we need to get you on something stronger than your vitamin C you got from Walmart or Sephora. Like, what I'm going to give you is definitely going to be stronger and more potent. But like, okay, for example, I have a brightening serum I love by Lyra. Pro Light Serum, the best. Like, I've used it since I started aesthetics. I see better results with that than a $150 brightening cream. Oh. So sometimes price doesn't always mean better.
Which is good to hear to the regular person.
Well, I think we're all entrepreneurs. Being on the price perspective, sometimes price is just really good marketing because you have to pay for that marketing and justify that price.
Yes.
So I get that. I get exactly what you're saying, where the quality of the ingredient that's in your thing is way more important than the price would ever be.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yes. Formulation matters. And I as an esthetician, and it's hard because as a consumer, sometimes people just don't even grasp that or understand that. So it's like, trust your esthetician. Go see an esthetician who you trust and knows her stuff.
Okay, so with that being said, if you could use 3 skincare products and only 3, what would they be and why?
I want to get to that question. Can I back up real quick?
Yeah, but we never finished retinol either.
I know.
Sorry.
retinol.
Okay,
You're even on the retinol.
No, I'll say that. I'm sorry. My apologies. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Please.
Okay. I love retinol. I absolutely.
What is retinol?
So retinol is you hear retin A, you'll hear tretinoin.
Yeah. Those are ingredients.
I got a cousin named Retine.
Do you really?
No, I don't.
I can't believe it. So gullible.
You're so dumb.
So retin A is like the pure form of vitamin A.
Okay.
Tretinoin, all those they're super strong and super aggressive.
Okay.
They stimulate cell turnover, and that does help to clean out pores. That helps with fine lines and wrinkles. That helps lift pigmentation. Oh. And so it's a good ingredient, but retinol is like the breakdown form of retin A.
Okay.
So it's more gentle.
Okay.
So some people love retin A. Oh, actually, they don't. Well, some do. But it's just so aggressive. Like when I worked because I used to work at a plastic surgeon's office, and a lot of my clients would be on retin A, and they wouldn't use it all the time because
it was so strong.
It was so strong. They'd peel, they'd flake, their barrier, it compromises their barrier, and they don't want to use it. And so I would rather you be on a retinol every day.
Which is like a more gentle form of retin A. Okay.
Yes.
So what does it do? Tighten your skin? Yeah, what does retinol do?
It is like this. I hate to be so dramatic, but it's like this magic little.
Tell us, you need to go buy some right now.
I just can tell such a difference in my client's skin and in my skin when I'm consistently using it and when they
where
are
do you put
consistently
it?
using all over.
Okay.
You can put it on your.
This is how much I don't know.
Yes.
What does it do? Tighten it?
What's the time frame of like somebody's never been on retinol? How long does it take for you to see a difference in their skin once they get on retinol?
By the next month that they come in, because usually my clients come in every 4 weeks, I can tell they've been on it and using it consistently.
So is it something you can buy anywhere? Is it called retinol or what is it called?
Yeah.
Or is it just an ingredient in
you'll-
something?
You'll usually see it as a retinol because that's kind of the buzzword. People know what that is. So, I mean, they sell it at Walmart. I mean,
I need to get on retinol.
But hold on.
yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's the magic bean.
Well, let's not. Is there a retinol you trust that somebody who doesn't necessarily have access to a professional that they could use from OTC?
I just do not know over the counter.
Gotcha.
She knows her like face reality.
Gotcha.
Yeah, face reality
That's
has.
what she's like.
For sure.
Yeah, Glymed, Lyra, they have great ones. I really haven't found a retinol professional grade that I didn't love or think that was effective. Sometimes you can get a little deep, but sometimes you can find ones that it's called micro encapsulated, so it drives down deeper into the skin without sitting on top, irritating the skin. The Retin-A sits on top of the skin, kind of irritates it.
Okay.
I mean, it still drives down deep, but it just causes that irritation whenever micro encapsulated retinol does not.
Okay.
So-
This is so good to know.
Yeah. So start out, if you're new to retinol, you start out using it and do not start using retinol if your skin is compromised. Active acne, I don't want my clients on retinol. If your barrier's compromised, red, inflamed, flaky, dry, do not. I'm going to get that healthy first.
Okay.
And then we'll start putting you on retinol like maybe twice a week. It's according to how your skin type is, but then I'm like, okay, now in 2 weeks, up it to 3 times a week. See how your skin does. And in a month, I just kind of see how.
Wow. This is so good to know.
Yeah, it's good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah. So back to your.
Oh, I was just going to ask you. We had a few people write in about if you could use 3 skincare products. Maybe just like a simple 3-step for beginners. I know it's hard to put it only into 3, but just give
Okay. Yeah.
us your staples that like if you were just starting out, you really didn't have much money to spend on a 10-step. Just some staples that you would for sure say.
Does face wash have to count as one of them?
No, we're all washing our face.
Okay, we're all washing our face.
Sis, if you're not washing your face, wash your face. Wash your
damn
makeup
face.
off before you go
No,
to
but
bed.
even with that, when it comes to washing your face wash, should you be using soap? Should you be using the same body wash you do for?
Yeah, I see that with my men that come in.
Oh yeah, they're just using their.
They're 3-in-1. They're for their hair, their face, and body. I'm like, stop that now. That is not okay. Even my teenagers, I'm like, no.
Isn't that so funny?
I had a friend that wanted me to ask why.
I'm sure. Sure.
Again, I woke up like this.
For real.
Some people are just so blessed.
It's the
I
melanin.
promise
Right.
it was the Mary Kay when I was younger. I had a 7-step when I was in 7th grade. I promise.
I believe it.
I had a
I
toner,
loved
an
Mary
astringent,
Kay.
I had a moisturizer.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I love that you called it an astringent.
Is that what it's called?
Well, no, it is. But now people call it a toner. Usually.
Oh, okay,
toner,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, so some simple products.
Okay, so other than your face wash, for morning, I would say your antioxidant would be the next thing. So antioxidant, think of that. The best comparison that I learned once was when you put lemon juice on an apple to prevent it from turning brown, it like protects it from the elements of the air, right? So your apple doesn't turn brown. That's what an antioxidant is for the face. Okay, it's going to help. It's like this little barrier that helps fight off the pollutants. Okay, so your antioxidant or vitamin C, that's an antioxidant.
Okay.
It's just according to your skin type. So your antioxidant and then moisturizer or hydrator, whichever one, and then your SPF.
I say sunscreen.
Absolutely.
At the end, right?
Absolutely. And do not put your moisturizer on top of your SPF. Your SPF goes on last. Okay.
Okay, that's AM.
Yes. And then at night, I would say after you wash, a corrective serum. If it's hyperpigmentation, if it's pigment, or if it's acne, whatever that corrective serum is going to be. And then your retinol.
Ooh.
Yes.
So do you not moisturize at night?
Yeah.
That's the corrective serum.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so a lot of retinols will have a moisturizer with it.
Okay.
It's hydrating.
Okay.
But so I would suggest if someone's wanting to limit the amount of products they're using, like my husband, perfect example.
Okay.
The retinol I have him on at night is hydrating as well. So he's getting his moisturizer and his retinol in one product.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah. Send that my way if you don't mind.
I know now Pat and I are going to be like, we're coming to see you next week.
And actually in his, like, so Lyra has this, a retinol that has the vitamin C in it as well. So he's getting like the vitamin C plus the retinol plus his hydrators and emollients, moisturizers.
That's
in
amazing.
that one product. So that one I love for men.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you were to recommend how many times somebody gets a facial, what would you say? And is that necessary for people, or is that just like a buzz?
I do think it's necessary for most people. I would
What does
say
the facial do? Take off that initial layer?
it really is according to what you're having done.
Okay.
So I think my clients usually are either 4, 6, or 8 weeks. I'm always like, don't do more than 8. Like you need that assistance in that cell turnover and corrective measurements. Like,
Sorry, y'all. My apologies.
Oh, and this is how he sneezes every time. Every time. And he goes,
I'm way cooler in the gym. I
he
promise.
does like 10 sneezes in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
If I'm driving though, like I have to pull over.
Yeah, because
If I
I'm
know
like,
I'm
he's gonna
sneezing a lot.
wreck.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because he's
because I
like
can't.
this.
Shit, so it just.
gosh,
Oh, he's like, oh shit. And he's just like sneezing. I'm like, babe, do you really have to sneeze like that every time? He's like, I can't help it.
Yeah.
And I always say, I hope our kids don't get
Hey,
that gene.
here's a question. Would you do that to your husband if they're having a literal sneeze attack? Be like, oh.
I'm like, stop doing that.
Actually, sometimes I'm mean to my husband. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm so mean to you.
I know, it's hard sometimes. Okay, so you would say depending on the person, 4, 6, 8 weeks to get a facial. Let your skin correct.
Yeah. Well, so if we're working on, it's according, I have some clients that just, I'm like, you're flawless. You're just doing anti-aging. We don't even have to work on pigmentation. I'm just doing a mild chemical peel or an enzymatic treatment. I'm doing LED with that, like just rejuvenating the skin.
Okay.
It's best really every 4 weeks, but
Okay.
4,
So-
6, or 8.
okay.
But if I'm working on hyperpigmentation or melasma, acne, I'm going to have you come in like for sure every 2 to 4 weeks. Sometimes acne is every 2 weeks at the beginning.
Okay.
So
That's good to know.
yeah,
And I'm sure, I mean, obviously everything depends on something else, which I understand.
right. Like age
Yeah.
matters. Like what are we correcting? What are you wanting to correct? Microneedling is another one that it's my favorite treatment for anti-aging.
for anti-aging, microneedling.
Anyone over 30 should be doing microneedling.
Okay.
If you're wanting to.
Here's the question. Would you say if you are not wanting to get Botox, microneedling is a good alternative?
Absolutely. 100%. My clients that do not want Botox, I have them come in for 3 to 6 treatments of microneedling. We lose
A year?
Yeah. We lose 1 to 2% of collagen every year.
Damn, I'm 31. I've got to start this shit.
So
Yeah.
should we be on like a collagen sup as well too, or
That is different. So college supplement
Where you're
does not
drinking it, like,
stimulate collagen in the skin. It's still good for the skin. It's good for the skin. It's good for the bones, joints, but it is not actually stimulating collagen in your skin.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a question.
Okay.
We own a sunless tanning business. My mom had melanoma when I was young, so it's been like a super big thing in my life. But I still need to be tan, or at least have some sort of color. Because if you saw
feel
me
that.
without this tan on, sis, I'm like red. I'm so pale. No
I
one
am
ever
too.
sees
I
me
get
without
you.
it.
I get you.
So what's your take on self-tanning or getting spray tanning, or obviously hell no to the tanning beds, but
Hell
what's
no
your take
to the
on
tanning bed.
self-tanning?
I love self-tanning. I
noticed
that
you're
it's-
tan.
I'm always tan. I'm like you. I do not step out of my house white.
Same.
I don't.
Aren't we so funny? It just makes such a difference.
I feel like you have a natural like dark.
She's naturally.
I am, but
She's like
I'm
Italian.
still white. I wear makeup to the gym simply to match the color of my body.
tan.
I
Yeah.
gotcha. I gotcha.
If you saw me, it'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I'm so white in the face. And so I'm all about self-tanning.
Sunless options.
Sunless options 100. Do not step foot in that tanning bed. I had a client, she's early 40s, she might be 41, and she's coming to, she is great. Love her. She's been a client of mine for years. She comes in every month, does all the skincare. And I'm like noticing the chest and neck is not looking quite right. And she's coming in doing treatments on them. And she's like, you're going to kill me. I'm like, what? She's like, I've been going to the tanning bed. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I know it has ruined my chest. I'm like, yeah.
It does.
Quit doing that. Like, it's hard when you're in your 20s because you don't really see the effects.
And you don't care.
You don't care.
You just want to be hot.
Yeah.
You want to look good.
No, we talked to
look
an
naked.
18-year-old girl 2 nights ago, and she had to get her mole removed already, and her family has a history of melanoma.
But she is Italian. She tans very easily. She has olive skin tone.
But she's going into the tanning bed, and
I literally was like, I will give you free product. I will give you a free spray
we're gonna
tan
tag
right now.
Yeah.
Because
Look,
I
down
will
there,
do anything to get you out of the tanning bed.
Yeah.
It's so bad. So I'm glad to hear that you're on board with sunless options.
100%. Any esthetician that encourages or goes to a tanning bed, do not go to them. Do not see them.
They should, right. Tanning beds should literally be illegal at this point.
I think so.
Yeah. They're like so bad for you. And what's the UV ray in there that you were telling me?
There's UVA rays
yeah.
in those bulbs. And so there's UVA rays, UVB rays. And UVA are aging rays. UVB are your burning rays.
We just did a
There
blog.
you go.
Well,
UVA, aging, UVB, burning.
We just did a blog on can you get tan in the shade, and one thing we did learn about was the difference between UVA rays and UVB rays, which I didn't even. I just knew of UV. I didn't even know the difference between the extended version of what those can actually mean and how they can affect skin and how they can actually penetrate poorly.
And it's so funny that everyone wants to like, oh, I want to look young forever. Oh, I'm going to spend all this money on my skincare. I'm going to do all this and then go bake in the tanning bed.
Yeah. Or go to Lake Powell and they
just
don't
bake.
Put on their
any sunscreen
once in the morning sometimes. And I'm like, what about every 2 hours you should be reapplying when you're in the sun.
100%.
So and sometimes people are like, well, I use SPF 70. And I'm like, actually, that means shit. So
Tell.
20, okay, so SPF 15 blocks 93% of UVB rays.
Okay.
I think they're UVB. So what'd I say? 93%. SPF 15 blocks 93% of rays. And then, what is it? Let me think. 93, 90. SPF 30 blocks 97% of rays, and SPF 50 blocks 98% of rays. So there's not a big difference once you get past 30. Gotcha. So I can tell a difference when I use 30 to 50 sometimes, like when I'm out like on a trip and like on a boat or something. But it's really not that. It's 1% difference. So when you get to 70, it's probably, I don't even think it's another percent.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like
So don't think, like, if you say, oh, but I've put it on SPF 100. Doesn't matter.
Interesting. That's good to know.
So at 30, you're good to go for the most part.
And reapply often.
Just reapply.
Yeah. Just keep applying.
And zinc oxide is better than like a lot of those chemical sunscreens. You're going to see like people that get red. They're like, I always burn. It doesn't matter how much sunscreen I put on, I burn. Switch to a zinc oxide SPF. Blue Lizard is a good, there's a lot of brands out there, but Blue Lizard always works really good for my family because I have a daughter that's super sensitive.
Yeah, me too.
So
I try not to get in the sun, especially as I gotten older, and I can already tell I don't get treatments done on my chest or anything. But when I was younger, I didn't care as much. Like you said, when we're 20, we don't care. Just in the last few years when I've stopped getting in the sun pretty much at all, they've dramatically gone away. Like they're not gone, but they've dissolved.
They're not being damaged. They're not being damaged.
As prominent as they were before, and that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to have you on for another episode because there's so many more questions that we want to ask.
Okay.
But before we get you out of here, you have a great mindset. You always seem happy. You always seem like you're a ray of sunshine, if you will. When you go in the gym, it's good to see you. You always smile at us. Is there any habits that you have that you would say, just for overall, not necessarily with skincare, not necessarily with business, when it comes to your own mental wellness, your physical wellness, that you say, you know what, practicing these couple things daily or this thing daily keeps me focused and keeps me, aware of like what I'm doing with my life.
Oh, yeah. Because I feel like we all have to kind of like really be intentional. As I feel like if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards.
100%.
So I'm big on meditation, and I can tell when I meditate and when I don't. And it doesn't even have to be very long. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, but it's about being intentional. And I have to do that. I have to reflect. I find that when I do gratitude in that meditation, it makes all the difference, because you have to sit and be aware of what you have in your life and be grateful for those things. And I feel like when you're grateful, then the outlook and everything else, your outlook is just better.
Positive.
Yeah, it's a lot more positive. And then you radiate differently, right? Like, because you can tell when people are low vibrating, and you can tell when someone's high vibrating. And sometimes people don't quite know what that is, but you become more aware of it when you're trying to be better.
How do you notice it? Like when you're intentional about your life and you're saying, oh, this person is low, the vibration is low. What, because I feel that. I don't know if you feel that, but I feel that it's like, man, I don't know what it is, but something's off about this conversation.
Yeah.
Like something just isn't sitting right with me. Like, is there something that you say, okay, I hear you, but I'm not listening to you?
Yeah, I think once you make that decision to start being aware of others, which means you have to be quiet, you know, like you have to kind of be quiet and
Takes
listen.
being intentional.
Yeah.
To be quiet.
Then you have to trust your intuition. I think we as human beings don't do that enough. And I think women even have that more. Like we have that intuition, we know. And the more we practice that and use that and be like, oh, you know how many times we've been like, oh, I should have known, I knew this, or, you know, it's like, right, you did. So use that next time.
Trust
I
that.
try to do that. And it's made a world of difference for me on who I enjoy being around, who I can't be around very long or in short periods
And
of
you know,
time.
and sometimes just taking space or knowing that and then doing that. Like if you know, you don't have to cut that off, but if you know you can only handle them and, you know, or if they're only good for you for this amount of time, just be intentional about making it that amount of time.
Yes,
You
because
know?
a lot of times it's family too, right? That
You can't just cut it off.
Yeah, like you still love them, but you're like being in this environment maybe just doesn't serve me.
Yes.
I've been on a meditative trip for a while, and she's got on, and
I was talking to her about it on the tread the other day.
And I was so impressed for what she said about you. And one thing I had to step back and realize is everybody's on their journey and they'll get to it when they get to it. But it's funny, I've probably 30 videos, every book, everything that's
I was super resistant.
And but you get to a point to where you're like, oh, when they figure it out, it gets it. But you kind of like, sometimes the frustrating thing is like, man, I want your life to be so much happier. I like realize this negativity that you're bringing, because regardless if you're doing it on purpose or not, you're bringing it to you by what you're saying.
Oh yeah,
and you don't realize
law of attraction for sure is real.
Yeah, it's like speak differently. Like this thing here, this is manifestation of what she wanted to help people and wanted to bring experts around in their fields to give that knowledge out and help people that are listening. Yeah. So this is, if you don't believe in manifestation and law of attraction, you're literally watching it as we speak right now, which is cool. But it's just, I don't know, I don't know where I'm going, but I just thought it was super impressive that you were one of those meditative
pretty
people.
much flipped her whole life around due to her mental strength.
Yeah.
And the practicing the mental and the mindset and knowing the power of your thoughts and your mind.
100%. It has been a journey, and I'm not perfect, and I have my ups and downs for sure. We all do. But I think the important thing is to like, don't be too hard on yourself and to just keep going. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Like you said, listen to do things that are uplifting. Find the podcasts that work for you. Find the books that work for you. Who motivates you? I love like Ed Milet. Like some girls don't like, that's too like, but I love that. I love him. He just like, I'll listen to him at the gym.
Person.
I do. And yeah,
Find what works for you.
100%.
Find what makes you feel good and stick to that.
She found a girl who talks to her. Like,
yeah, and I feel like she's my best friend.
Yeah, no, seriously, find who talks to you. Then that's your mentor, that's your coach, and if they speak to you,
and then you're not as resistant to it either. Yeah. I feel like some of the things he was trying to get me to, resonate with, I was like, oh, hell no.
I can't give her Napoleon Hill and have it be a thing.
No, I need almost, and maybe with my journey, I'll be able to get to that point of like those types of people that will resonate with me because I'm more further along in that journey. Mm-hmm. But just to start, I've really gotten so much in like 3 books, but it's with a woman that's reading it that I feel like she's talking to me like she's my friend and like my bestie, not like a science major speaking robot. Like I just can't get on it yet. And maybe at some point, like you guys, I will, I'm not closing off to it because I'm just being open.
It's your journey and it's all the same knowledge. I love
that. I love that you said like everybody's on their own journey and like we have to allow people 100%. To have that and do that. And that can be hard sometimes, especially if it's like a family member or your spouse or whoever you're with or your kids even. Because I'm like, yeah. There's definitely just, like the other day, my husband's like, I've gone to a few sound baths here in town. Mm-hmm. And the other day he's like, hey, Jace told me about a sound bath. Is that something you'd want to do? And I'm like, who are you? He's like, is that something you would want to go and do? And I'm like, would you want to? Because I've invited you twice and you haven't had any interest. He's like, you did? It's like someone else had to introduce that to him.
Which is like his journey. And I feel like we've been on that. We talked about that a little bit at the gym. But I'm just, open to the universe. And I think everyone, too, listening to the pod, there might be a lot of people on there that have never even thought about meditation. They've never thought about any of that. They've heard of it. They think it's kind of woo-woo because I was the same way. Uh-huh. And I've just decided, you know what? I'm just going to try it. It might look different for me that it looks like for Pat. He might want to be in a dark room with no sound and it works for him. I have found kind of my own way of doing it for me right now. Doesn't mean I won't get to that point, but just being able to be open to trying something new, trying it and practicing it and like understanding the strength that your mind is and the muscle that you have to practice it. Just like you practice your physical body, you have to practice your mental body and work it out and, give it strength and listen to it and calm down and breathe and listen. And
so look at you.
True. So if you find yourself, if you're listening, and you have wanted to go into that, just even if you need to pull up a YouTube video and just get some knowledge or anything,
just find what works for you.
Do that. I'll do a guided meditation for one of our next audio episodes. But number 2, if you have any questions for the lovely Lauren, who's brought us so much knowledge from not only a skincare perspective, but from a meditative perspective.
You could go on and on.
Yeah, please comment. You can email us at islandtalkpod@gmail.com. We'll definitely have you on, or comment below if you have any questions. We'll definitely have you on again. Thank you so much for your time. And if you like this and you like other episodes, please like, subscribe, comment, and share as we continue to. I'm a freestyler right now. But
Good job, babe. Go ahead. Also, I was going to say, if you are in Southern Utah or Utah in general, Lauren is based in St. George, and she is on Instagram, and we'll put her link in too. I don't know if you're taking new clients, but maybe down the road, if people want to come see you and
and
whatever.
We have great estheticians in our clinic that I would recommend.
Everything probably that you would.
Yeah, because they're acne experts. They're all certified face reality experts, and they are great at anti-aging as well. So that's really what we focus on at our clinic. And
So what's your clinic again?
The Skin Spa and Acne Clinic.
Perfect. In St. George, Utah.
In St. George. Yep.
Are majority of your clients in St. George, or are they from all over?
Majority are here. I have a few that I do like virtual.
Okay, cool. No, that was my question. So if you want virtual as well.
Yeah.
Or someone from her clinic. Or
I can even refer you if it is an acne issue. I would actually rather I don't love doing acne virtual. I would much rather them go see an acne expert to get treatments done.
You could recommend.
So I can recommend some in their area.
I'm so glad you came on. It was so fun. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, so much knowledge.
Love is love.